Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a StarCraft 2 match. My name is Project. I'm going to be bringing you a Zerg versus Protoss on Backwater LE. Spawning in the top left-hand corner in the red trunks, we've got Mlu. And in the bottom left-hand corner in the blue trunks, we have our blue Protoss, HighQ. It feels good to give you guys some new StarCraft 2 action. I'm actually participating in the After Hours Gaming League with other companies and other digital and tech companies, and we're competing in esports for charity, which is pretty dope right here. So you guys are going to see a lot more StarCraft and a lot more StarCraft 2 content, and I'm not sure if you noticed this, but there's a lot of players that are coming back for StarCraft 2 action. It's kind of like a revival, if you will, which is pretty dope. So check out the After Hours Gaming League at AHGL.tv for a little bit more action. Right now, we're going to jump into the action. What we see very early on is a spawning pool from Zerg. Going to be an early activity or early action for this game. How does the Protoss decide to react to it? He knows the spawning pool is almost done. He knows that there is early gas, so it looks like it's going to be early activity from him. That's the information that I would glean out of that. Decides to get a second gateway, maybe a forge, and then we also see metabolic boosts in the top left, so Zergling speed. So my guess is that Mlu is going to be doing a Zergling kind of flood or rush. What he's going to decide to do with his extra gas, not quite sure yet. It looks like he's still mining it very slowly. Aha, we see a Baneling nest being warped in right here. So not going to be or hopes of being a quick game is kind of what we're looking at right here. Forge going down. This is not a clean wall. He decides to build that build that pylon, but it was on the right side. Going to reinforce that with a pylon. The Zerglings are on their way. Looks like they're just about to attack. Not able to get a really good surround on that pylon. That is the weakest point in the wall. They're trying to see. They might be able to get two Zerglings attacking it. They're going to be reinforcing and going to be attacking that forge, trying to see if there's a wall there. That photon cannon is about halfway done. An additional photon cannon being warped in for defense. Mlu just going to focus on this forge. Now what does he do? Does he keep focusing in? Does he keep attacking it? That cannon's just about to come online. He decides to completely disengage. Now heartbreaking. Zergling speed just got done. Adept getting chrono boosted outside of the gateway. So what type of game does this kind of transition to? Like getting that adept and chrono boosting it. We see an expansion behind just for our Zerg player right there. Six Banelings morphing in from Zerglings. HighQ doesn't know this is coming. Gonna reinforce right there. Oh, the Banelings are coming in. The Nexus just went down. Photon cannons going in. Shield batteries just knocking that down. That pylon goes down. 3 Lings able to get in without doing a whole lot of other damage. Not able to really come back and defend. Those probes are evacuating, kind of just going around and just trying to get away from the 3 Zerglings that are here now. So one drone goes down, or one probe goes down. Maybe a second one goes down. Oh, those 3 Lings are so low. Those 3 Lings are so low. We see the wall getting reset back up high. These 3 Zerglings just trying to see what they can do here. They should morph into Banelings. Why aren't they morphing into Banelings? Oh, one of the Zerglings gets zapped down. The other Zerglings are dancing right down here because that wall got completely redone. Attacking the base right there, but gonna get surrounded and swarmed, and those Zerglings went down. It would have been sick to see some Banelings warped in right there. Just knock that out and end the game right then and there. However, Zerglings are gonna go back home. That wall is just no good anymore. We see a Stargate transition just as the second Nexus goes down. We're now in a odd spot for this game. Do we transition out of this and do we go to a macro game? Do we apply the pressure and just bust even harder? What's the transition? What we're going to do? We're going to get a Roach Warren, and we're just going to go into a simple or into a macro game is kind of what it looks like. If we go to the resources lost, sorry about that, and the units lost tab right there, 3 probes versus 6 Zerglings and a Baneling. Pretty even trade, but the downside is that this puts Zerg way behind. They should be ahead on drones or slightly ahead on drones. And being able to get 2 or 3 expansions right here. So there, I would say the Protoss at this point is definitely on even footing right there. I'm not going to say that they came out ahead quite yet because the worker counts are pretty similar, but again, it's very, very similar right now. An Oracle coming out of Stargate right here, a flying Spellcaster using that Pulsar Beam. This is a pretty common tactic in PV. Almost everything now is to make an Oracle from Stargate, zap quite a few of your opponent's workers, and then just kind of get out from there. So pretty expensive stuff going from a Stargate to an Oracle. However, having map presence and going around on the map is pretty important. We see a Twilight Council getting warped in for, you know, possibly Blink or charge lots, and we see this Oracle moving across the map. So if this Oracle, like, there's not a lot of defense going on. Like, literally the only anti-air is Queens as we're getting into lair tech. So the Oracle comes in, is able to get 2 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills, maybe 6 drone kills, and then almost a 7th, but decides to get out with its life and hold on just a little bit longer. Going to the units lost tab, we see 6 drones added onto that, and the unit count, we see 30 drones to 41 probes. So big differences here for both players right here. Just gonna have this Oracle right here, and like I did the damage I need to do. I'm just gonna chill here. We see some Spore Crawlers being made in the main bases to prevent any other type of action coming in. And Amlu was able to stabilize from there. It stinks that he was able to lose 6 drones, but he can macro up and get back into this game. It looks like he's building a Hydralisk Den, an additional evolution chamber. No, just the first evolution chamber. While all this is going on, our Protoss player making a 3rd base, getting some Void Rays, getting an additional forge, getting a replacement forge, excuse me, to get some of these upgrades. So we're kind of in a small lull in the game. Looks like we're going to see a Roach Hydra army versus a kind of a hodgepodge Protoss army. Not really Stargate, but looks like going to get some supporting units and mostly have a gateway army to be able to backbone it. So just kind of see a lull right here. The one thing that is definitely going to be an Mlu's quarter is the army size. He's able to have enough of an army to be present on the map and attack. However, he just doesn't know like how strong his army is. If he can get these Roaches and Hydras right here and just shell on these bases, it's going to be very difficult for him to continue to reinforcing, because even just, you know, 2 or 3 minutes ago, all he had was those gateways up there. So take these out, it significantly reduces your ability to reinforce, and you just straight up attack. Pylon going down. Looks like that HighQ is going to be taking an offensive posture in just a moment. Warp Prism coming out. +1 on the way. Look at those. Like, those are, when you're building units like that, you need to attack with it. And then transition to taking a 3rd base or a 4th base or a 5th base. Just running quite a bit behind it. That Queen looks like it's about to pop out. So all right, we see that Oracle right here. They don't see each other quite yet. So the lovely thing about StarCraft is that you don't have all of the information. You have some of it. You can know a couple things. You got to scout a lot. You got to spend a lot of resources and energy realizing that, hey, I don't have all the information. I have to scout a little bit. And that's what we're going to be doing. Look at the army supply. And 8 of that is tied up, so 69 to 50. Even with the army that's tied up in production right now for the Zerg's still in the lead when it comes to army. Protoss is moving in right here. We see just above there, the bulk of the Zerg army was trying to shoo off a Phoenix that was over there. We see a Stasis Ward warping in right there. And a big warp in from additional stalkers coming in the backside right there. Protoss coming in, gonna get on that creep, gonna go ahead and take out that creep tumor and just posture up just a little bit more. Gotta keep an eye on that warp prism, but it looks like it's just warping in with the main army that's right there. Zerglings running in. Looks like we see an attack happening right here. Zerg coming on the left-hand side, pushing in. Those Zerglings trigger the stasis ward. Force fields are gonna zone out the Zerg army completely. Not really a whole lot lost between the both of them. We see a couple Hydras, some Lings, in addition to a Stalker right there, so slightly favoring the Protoss right there. However, just from sheer numbers, it looks like the Protoss army is a lot more scary, or the Protoss army, like, they're both really scary armies. Protoss moving in, taking some additional damage from the Zerg army. See an exchange going down, force fields going in, not being able to do what they need to be doing. The Zerg army able to push in right there. A lot of the Hydralisks are just moving around the back right there. I don't think they have Greed Spines right there, so disengaging right there and accidentally killing its own Stalker right there. Wow. Now again, both from a uses or units lost tab, they're both pretty even. Losing 15 Stalkers to a metric ton of Roaches and Hydralisks, it's still anyone's game in terms of what's lost right there. And as we can see, Mlu realizes that, hey, he didn't have, if these upgrades were available, if that Hydralisk den had the Groove Spines with the increased range, if +1 was there, that might have been a completely different game, ladies and gentlemen. Might be a completely different game. Let's keep an eye on this Warp Prism. It looks like that the Warp Prism is moving in to do some shenanigans on the third base. Does he know it's there? He knows it's warped in, but doesn't realize all that's going on there. Oh, and we see 10 Zealots getting warped in right here. Just going to go ahead and go, you know what, Queen, we don't like you. We're just going to kill you. Yeah. And Mlu decides to respond by completely bringing his army all the way back. And it's going to clean up these Zealots that are inside the base right here. Protoss army is posturing out just a little bit more on the field. Has a couple Immortals, a couple Stalkers in the mix. Has Blink. Hasn't taken his additional gas yet. Can go ahead and take fourth base as well. So a little bit back and forth here as well. Charge lot's about to be done. +2 ground attacks finishing up for our, or starting up for our Protoss player. 10 more Zealots being warped in at the front of the base. So yeah, we see kind of a, you know, a charge lot, blank Stalker army complemented by a couple of Immortals. We see a Robotics Bay going down, so we might see some Colossi or some Disruptors in the mix. Free Immortal in the middle of the map, that's always good. An additional Warp Prism drop happening in the third base right here. Another Zealot attack. Now, Mlu sees this Protoss army just very, very much at the edge right there. Protoss decides they're about to leave. Mlu's army is completely out of position right here, and this third base is going to go down. The 3 drones that are going to pop out of here. This is so sad. All these drones are going to die. Now, keeping some Roaches at home, like maybe Roaches chilled down here, like where the drops are happening, that would be a good way to defend these drops from going forward. However, Mlu is just 1Aing and making a murder ball out of his army. So that's the unfortunate thing. 5 Immortals in this army, and we're seeing some splash damage being sprinkled in. We see a Colossi being warped in right there. We see, I think the Templar Archives are about halfway done. The Robotics Bay hasn't researched anything quite yet. Still a lot of scary stuff. Fourth base going down for Mlu. HighQ spots it with that Phoenix that's just chilling over there. Warp Prism on the way. Zerg setting up in the middle of the map. Going to go ahead and get missile attacks +2 and get that fourth base. Can he lock that base down? These Zealots are on route saying, nope, we are not going to keep on with them. 5 Adepts being warped in. It's kind of an interesting late game decision to move those guys in. Usually Adepts are not going to be something you're going to warp in later on. It's going to be just a one-time thing, and that might have been a mistake. These Adepts are just going to get completely mopped up. That base gets canceled, and those Zealots are just kind of chilling there being like, yo, dog, we did pretty good. 10 more Zealots being warped in at home. Very, very scary army for Protoss. They're working on +3 and +1 armor in addition to Storm. So if these Immortals were less, then this Roach Hydra army does okay. However, there has to be a spellcaster complement to it. The fact that you just have a bunch of Roach Hydra is going to get murdered by these Immortals and these Colossi and these potential Storms. So very, very scary stuff. Looks like Emlu, looks like he's posturing to take this fight to the 4th base. He knows it's there, but doesn't know exactly what's going on. Oh, wow. So the Protoss army is just above. We see some Hydras coming into the back. Oh, the Hydras that are supposed to be in the back on that side are moving up. These Hydras, they're just moving. They're not doing anything. Same thing with the army that's down here. Hemlu, no! And in one fell swoop, Emlu's army just gets completely destroyed. It was a very even game up until that point. The Protoss army just moving along the way, and Emlu decides to do before it starts getting really. So, congrats to HighQ in that game. Stick around for more StarCraft 2 action coming up right after this.